Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Nisapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrijatam Sahigana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहिगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्ता राधाकान्ता नमस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंदा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की जय मम शुद्धाय कृष्ण Hare Krishna. Everyone can see my screen? Okay. So welcome back to our next of devotion. Last week we did chapter 7. We'll just quickly discuss chapter 7 once. Anyone remembers what we discussed in chapter 7? Can anyone tell what was there in chapter 6? Yes, Prabhu?
Prabhuji, about how to discharge devotional services.
Okay, that's the name, Mataji. Would you remember?
We have studied that 20 were primary, and Nirvriti and
Pravritti?
Paravriti. What
Yeah.
should we do? It was also divided into Pravriti. What we should not do, it's in 10 parts, and rest 11 to 20 were Nirvriti. Then there were 44 additional items of sadhana.
Yeah. And can you subdivide 44 as well? So it's
Like first,
39 plus 5.
yes,
Yeah, so 5 is primary limbs of devotional service and 39 is additional.
additional.
Thank you, Mataji. So chapter 6 was discussing about all the names of these 64 items and read the categories. Now, chapter 7 is going to start the actual description of it. Anyone remembers how many items we discussed in chapter 7?
18.
3, Prabhuji.
3?
18.
18?
Yes,
Any
10
other numbers?
positive and 8 negative.
Sorry,
17
say
items.
again.
20.
20, 18, 3,
17 Prabhu.
17.
18, Prabhuji.
18. Thank you, Garima Mataji. 18. So 10 plus and 8 negative. So chapter 8 will describe the 19th item, which we'll discuss today. And chapter 9 will describe 20th onwards. So in this chapter, we have discussed 18 items. So let's quickly describe those 18 items. So now out of those 20, what are the most important ones? Someone else? Out of 20, I'm asking.
First 3 are very important.
First 3 are very important. And out of all 64, if you have to say, first 3 are important. And out of those first 3, the first one is important. Why? Because the first one will tell us to take shelter of next 63. If first one isn't there, next 63 won't come. And what is the first one? Someone else who has not spoken as yet. Guru Padashraya. So first we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master unless we approach, and right now also we are approaching Srila Prabhupada, Srila Rupa Goswami. So unless we approach a bona fide spiritual master, none of these knowledge will come in our head. So the first one is taking shelter is extremely important. Okay, thank you. So let's start our discussion. So these are the 10 positives, pravritti, which we're talking about. and we'll discuss one by one. So first one we discussed last week was taking shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Guru. And in this one, Rupa Goswami has focused on this 11.3.21. I'll quickly read it. It's a very important verse. We should all know this verse. Tasmad Gurum Prabhadeta Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Pare Chanishnatam Brahmani Up Shama Shrayam. What does Tasmad mean? We can all quickly repeat. Tasmad.
In all circumstances.
In all circumstances. Okay, more. Tasmad is therefore, इसलिए. So I've already described before that. इसलिए, who will surrender to the bona fide spiritual master? Tasmad Gurum Prapadeta. That person should take shelter. Prapadeta means surrender to a guru. Guru refers to bona fide guru here. Who has this quality? What is the quality described of a disciple here? Jigyasu Shreya Uttamam. So what's the first quality described here is Jigyasu. He should be inquisitive. Now, inquisitive about share market prices, where is the cheapest property in Australia to buy, all those things. That's also a jigyasa, valid jigyasa. What sort of jigyasa? So the adjectives are given. The jigyasa should be not about other things. What's the banana price today? Shreya. Shreya. Shreya means anyone? We have read this word.
Long-term benefit.
Long-term benefit, not short-term benefit, long-term benefit. What sort of long-term benefit? Now, property investment also long-term benefit. No. The Shreya also has another adjective. Uttamam. What does Uttama mean? Uttama. Tama means darkness. Ut means Uttistha, which is beyond darkness. So his queries are long-term, which are related to beyond darkness. This material world is considered darkness, complete darkness. It's in Tama. So what is beyond darkness? Transcendental knowledge is beyond darkness. So one who has inquisitiveness, inquiries about transcendental subject matter, he should approach a spiritual master. If you have still inquiries about the Tama word, you may not be a qualified disciple to approach, which many of us are not qualified at all. But this person is qualified. Why? Because his jigyasa is not related to Tama, his jigyasa is related to Uttama, beyond this material world. And then when he approaches a spiritual master, then he can become a true disciple. Then we discuss the qualification of a guru. Anyone remembers few qualification of a guru which we discussed? Anyone? You can
He
just
should
mention.
have studied the Vedas.
Have studied the Vedas. Thank you,
He
Prabhu.
should have realized the conclusion of the Vedas.
Thank you. What's the difference between 1 and 2?
Once he
One is living.
he actually lives by the instructions of
Thank
the
you. Yeah, so he's just not like theoretical knowledge. He lives by
realized
it.
and practiced it.
Yes, Prabhuji. That second point is very, very important. First is also important, but second is more. We should be living by it, not just teaching. Many times people are just teaching, but they're not living. So that's why they don't have potency. Thank you, Prabhu. Anyone else? Any other points? Qualification of Guru.
All controlling senses.
What are the 6 urges which we discussed, Prabhu?
He should be able to teach.
Sorry, we'll just discuss those 6 urges which Acharya Prabhu said. Can you describe those 6 urges, Prabhu?
Who probably me?
What are the 6 things he should have won over? 6 sense gratifying urges. You should have won over all 6 urges. What are those 6 urges?
The tongue.
Yes.
Hearing.
Vacho vegam, mansa krodha vegam, jiva vegam, udropastha vegam. So these are the 6 urges, NOI, verse 1. So he should have won over all 6 urges. Thank you, Prabhu. What else?
Prabhu, nothing to do with material activities.
Thank you, Mataji. He should have nothing to do with material activity. He's not looking for another venture in the material world. Sometimes they seem to be involved, but that is solely for the purpose of Krishna's seva. So they're building a temple, they may need some money, they may be doing some fundraising activities, buying cement, buying bricks, mortar, talking to the contractors, all those things, but that is fully for the purpose of seva. Thank you, Mataji. Anything else? We also discussed one most important quality out of those 26 qualities, which is given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. What is the one most important one? Not the others are not important. Out of 26, what is the one most important qualification of a devotee?
Should be fully surrendered.
Thank you, Mataji. He should be fully surrendered to Krishna. Huh? So whatever he does by BMW, everyone understands? Body, mind, and words should be completely aligned, harmonized with Krishna's will. Complete alignment. Now we are not able to do that many times, but that's why spiritual master is. He is completely aligned, mind, body, and words. That's why he's called a sannyasi. By body, mind, and words, he has given everything to Krishna. So he should be completely taken shelter of Krishna. Anything else? Yep, we have covered everything. He should be fully away from Maya, fully fixed in Krishna. Also, we read about the disqualification of a guru. Anyone remembers any points?
Full number one.
Any disqualification, if you remember?
He should not be a fake guru, a full number one.
Thank you. That's what Prabhupada said. He should not be a full number one. How do you define that, Mataji? Now, anyone can say, I'm not a full number one. You're telling me full number one. How do you define this person is full number one?
So he lives by the Shastras. He understands the goal of Shastras and lives by it.
Yeah. So if someone is not speaking from Shastra, is speaking on his own, he may be very popular, but actually he's a full number one. Because our philosophy is to follow in parampara. If he is not coming in parampara, his teachings are not valid. Thank you, Mataji. Anyone else?
Whose character is doubtful?
Character is doubtful. He's saying something, doing something. Huh? There is some news coming here and there. Now, not all the news are correct. We are not saying that, but yeah, if there's some doubt in his character, in his dealings, then he may not be a bona fide master. Okay, more?
He has not conquered the six Vegas.
He has not conquered the six Vegas. He still has something to do with material things. I was listening a lecture by Amok Leela Prabhu regarding Bhakti Siddhant Maharaj yesterday. And he was asked by Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj was asked, why did you choose Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj as your spiritual master? So the response Saraswati Prabhupada gave, he said, there were many scholarly persons in his time, very elevated person, but he said Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is the only one who does not have any material desire. Any material desires. Rest of the one, they may be very knowledgeable, very elevated, but they all have some material desires. But this person doesn't have any material desires. So you can judge the advancement of a person by how little material desires he has. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Anything else? Okay, I'll just read it here. Full number one, no direction according to scriptural injunctions, character is doubtful, does not follow principles of devotion service, has not conquered the six senses. Okay, thank you. So we're doing well. Different roles of a guru. So direct representative of Krishna, Sakshat Haritva, and external manifestation of super soul, formal connection with the parampara, gives us mantra, the spiritual father, ever well-wisher, our best friend, absolute authority, only way to attain Krishna, captain of the boat of transcendental knowledge. So these are the different roles of guru. So we cannot avoid having a guru. Many times people ask, why do you need a guru? We need guru in every walk of our life. We cannot imagine doing anything in the current system as well without guru. So how can you elevate yourself in the transcendental knowledge without a guru? Now, how the gurus used to exist in the past, how they used to give dikshas and siksha, that will vary. Our primary method in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, at least we are talking, is siksha parampara. Siksha was the primary thing. Now, diksha was introduced, which is also very important. But again, the more important part is siksha. If you see even Rupa Goswami and Sanatan Goswami, they were not given diksha under a fire sacrifice. Vaishnavas were there. Their names were given in the middle of the night in a very secret place, because they had correspondence with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted them as formal disciples. Just changed the name. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj started this Diksha ceremony in a formal way. But before that, if you see, Loknath Maharaj also gave initiation to a dead person. He touched the person, he gave Diksha. So like that. So many times we see all these acharyas are benefiting the humanity just by the siksha. So many times people who are not so mature give more importance to diksha. Now, diksha is extremely important, but more important should be given to siksha. How we are achieving the siksha from that particular guru. It can be a diksha guru or siksha guru, but how we are taking the siksha and applying in our life. So we have to remember that very, very nicely. Siksha is more important, and diksha is just to solidify that knowledge which is coming, because our mind is very chanchal. So we formalize in a ceremony, the impressions goes very deep. But again, the bottom line is you follow the siksha, and that's why the second and third principle comes. Krishna Diksha Sikshadi. So I'll not read the whole thing, just read these three main points. Accepting Guru as a representative of Lord in the Super Soul. Learn Srimad Bhagavatam with respect and veneration from Guru. Disciples' attitude should be to please Guru, then everything becomes revealed very, very easily. So the disciple doesn't have to do other things other than pleasing the Guru. If Guru has asked disciple to do a little seva, if he does that little seva perfectly, he will achieve the spiritual perfection. One example which comes to my mind, once Ramanujacharya had a disciple, I forgot his name. He was a very simple person. He used to wash Ramanujacharya's clothes every day. He was not very literate, he was not very scholarly, very simple person, and he will just take menial services of Ramanujacharya. One time, Ramanujacharya and other disciples were not respecting this disciple very much. So Ramanujacharya wanted to prove that this disciple is also very advanced. So one time he was supposed to give class, and he said, "I'm a bit sick today. Maybe someone else can give class." So they asked Guru Maharaj, "Who can give class?" He said, "Okay, get that person, get that disciple to give class." And everyone sort of laughing. Oh, that person, he is completely literate. He's just washing the clothes. He's a bit slow guy. So Ramanujacharya wanted to prove that that person is very advanced. So he was called, and he was at the ghat washing the clothes. So he came in, and he said, "What? How can I serve you, Guru Maharaj?" He said, "Today you are giving Bhagavatam class." And he said, "Me, Bhagavatam class?" He was completely baffled. But his Guru has said, so he has to sit. And when he sat on the Vyasas and he gave class, he gave one of the best classes. And this way Ramanujacharya sort of dispelled the doubts of other disciples, that not only who are reading, who are so-called close to Guru, are the advancement. That's not the proper way of understanding. The advancement is how much desire this person has to please his Guru. Because many times we may be very so-called close to the Guru, but our desire is to achieve name and fame. I get photos with my Guru Maharaj. I post my photos on the Facebook. I'm a very close servant of me. You tell me, Prabhuji, Mataji, and I will get your work done. So we're trying to take the glory of the Guru on our own head. Prabhupada said, Prabhupada was once in Mayapur. You've heard it many times. Some devotees came from foreign land, and they were thinking about those disciples of Prabhupada who were serving Prabhupada day and night there. So they're saying to these disciples, "Oh, you are so fortunate. You're with Prabhupada day and night." So Prabhupada heard that, and Prabhupada showed a machar, a mosquito sitting on his hand. He said, "This mosquito is also very, very close to me. But what is he doing? Sucking my blood." So following the instruction of his spiritual master, taking Siksha very, very seriously, whatever instruction he has given it, maybe it's washing the clothes or cleaning the floor, whatever instructions has been given, if you follow that instruction and make that instruction as your life and soul, you will achieve perfection. Externally, that instruction may be very, very small, but internally it will purify you, elevate you, it will empower you. And it says when acharyas give instruction, they give empowerment with the same instruction. And Prabhupada case as well, Prabhupada was a simple 22-year-old boy, sorry, 26-year-old that time, young boy, um, trying to participate in this non-violence movement of Mahatma Gandhi. But when Bhakti Maharaj gave him instruction, you see, he gave the empowerment at the same time, and then later Prabhupada could do such a magical thing around the world. So, Siksha and Diksha both are important. Siksha is more important, and no matter how externally the instruction may look very, very small, it will empower you a lot if you take it seriously. Priti Purva Guru Seva. And that's what we are discussing. Our seva is to follow the instruction of spiritual master. It can be a Vapu seva, it can be a Vani seva. And then it doesn't matter how many times you have met with your spiritual master, how many emails you got, how many voice messages you got, how many photos you have your spiritual master. That's not important. How much you're following the instruction of your spiritual master every moment in your life. Number 4th was Sadhu Vartamanu Vartanam. So we should follow Mahajanoyi in Gatasa Pantha, who all present in Parampara Siddhanta of the scriptures. Religionists who neglect the revealed scriptures are a disturbance on a devotional path. See, last time we were discussing we should not become upadrav, a disturbance in other devotees' life or in our community. So we don't understand much. We should just keep it simple, do our sadhana, take guidance. And if you can't take the guidance of others, we may not be doing the seva for the pleasure of others. We may be doing seva for our pleasure, for our name and fame. And that seva will not please Krishna. It may please few people. You may be able to make few followers, but that's not the point. So very clearly, this 1-101, utpatyaiva kalpate. So utpat word, Sanskrit word. We should not become a utpat. Should be very, very careful. We'll read about that in chapter 8 again. Okay, bhajan, riti, niti, prashna, sadharma, preksha. So inquiries should be related about dharma. Asking serious questions is devotional service. Bhogadi Tyaga Krishna's Hetve, we already read that. So for Krishna's pleasure, sometimes we may have to quit some of our attachment, and we should be happily doing that, not with grudging way, with the enthusiastic way, because that's the purpose of life. Tirthvasa, Tirtha Mahatma Shravanam Cha. We should reside in Tirtha. And if you cannot reside in Tirtha, what you should do? So not everyone can go to Vrindavan tomorrow and live there. So what should we do?
Association.
Make your home a temple.
Sorry, someone said, association, yes, more. Someone else said as well, make our home as temple. So Prabhupada said, why 2 temples? Why not 10,000 temples? Every house in that city should be a temple. Every devotee house should be a temple. So make your house as a temple, and visit the temple as much as possible, because as Krishna said, as Prabhupada said, this is the embassy of the spiritual world. So every temple in the city, say our Radha Gopinath temple, is the extension of Vrindavan temple. So the more we visit Radha Gopinath temple, the more Shakti we get from Krishna, more purification we get from Krishna, more blessings we get. And then we feel enthusiastic in our spiritual life. So very important to visit temple and make our home a temple. Accepting only what's necessary. We all understand that based on our life situation, bodily situation, accept whatever is minimal. So it's not about expansion. It's about just, living the life, whatever basic necessities we need, and then we put rest of our energy for spreading Krishna consciousness. Fasting on Ekadashi, extremely important. And again, everyone's body may be different, but as much as possible, Prabhupada said, keep it simple. We don't take any grains and beans. That much I think everyone can follow. And besides that, whatever other austerities you can do, you should try to do that. Third point, second one. The basic principle is not just to fast, but to increase one's faith and love for Govinda. So it's not just about fasting. I've been fasting for last 20 years. No, that's not the point. Are you remembering Krishna more? Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says, your body may be fasting, but your ego is feasting. So body is fasting, but ego is feasting. I'm telling everyone how great I am. And when you say, Prabhu, you are so great, I feel very good. So my ego is increasing. So is that the purpose of fasting? No, rather it's better you eat and be humble. Be humble. Because when you are humble, then you can chant the holy name. Then you can serve Vaishnavas. If your ego is very high, what's the point? So not that we are not saying we should not do austerities, but and if you do some austerities, as we were discussing last week, it should be private. Your sadhana is your personal dhan. Personal dhan. Do not reveal it to the whole world. Otherwise, it will just go off. So whatever you're doing, it should be clearly for the purpose of upgrading yourself, not showing off. Okay, we also discussed number 10 was Ashwatha, which is people ka banyan tree. Tulasi, Dhatri. Dhatri refers to our nurse, mother, parents. Go, Brahmana. So Brahman again is a big category. Brahman can be Vaishnavas or general Brahmans also should be respected. Go refers to cow. Vaishnav Sammanam. So we should respect every single living entity, specifically this category. Okay, now the 10 activities to be avoided, Nivritti. We'll only read 8 in this chapter, so I'll just quickly go through. This is one of the most important. Asadu Sangatyag. NOI was saying it, NOD is also saying it, because unless we are quitting the association of asadhus, our spiritual life will not advance. Example our acharyas gave. If you are starting a car to go somewhere, you put your feet on your brake and you're putting accelerator as well. Will the car go forward? You have feet on your accelerator, which is fine, which is your sadhana, and on the brake as well. Brake is like asadhu sang is still there in our life. So if asadhus are present in your life, they will drag you down sooner or later. So we should be very careful whom we are associating with. Again, it doesn't mean you don't work with the sadhus. We have to work, we have to go to the work, we have to do so many exchanges. But yeah, we don't closely associate with them because then their consciousness may impact our consciousness. So we should always try to give association to our sadhus, not take their association. Now, who are sadhus? A person who has illicit connection with women. Here should be read as woman/men. So it's not just a woman, anyone. Or associates with men illicitly connected, materialistic persons, persons who are against the supremacy of Krishna. Because if you are associating yourself too much with atheistic people, you may also get their association one day. Yeah, it's a very bold analogy. Acharya says we will rather be living with the jackals and lions rather than living with asadhus because they will only eat up the body, but asadhus will take up our soul, our consciousness, which is more dangerous. Okay, next 3 word. Bahushisha Karna Tyag. So we should not just make many disciples. Again, the purpose is you can make disciples. The purpose is not to get dragged away with this name and fame. I have, I don't know, 3 million followers, 4 million followers, and all those things. Amog Lila Prabhu says, Prem Gali Ati Sakari, Ta me do na samay. Prem Gali, the gali, the escape path from this material world, this spiritual world is very narrow. huh? Only soul can go through. If a soul has a covering of a ego, you will not be able to go through. You'll get stuck because then you become very fat. Anyone been to Vaishnav Devi? There's a Ardha Kumari, halfway through, and there's a little cave where you have to pass through. So if you're very thick, very jada, then it may be difficult for you. So we have to make sure we shed up all our material attachments here itself, because if we carry forward those attachments with us, we'll not be able to go and cross Virja River, and that's the difficulty. So you can make many disciples, but if the purpose is to please Krishna, to spread Krishna consciousness, go for it. But if the purpose is just my name and fame, no. Bahu Arambhatyag, Aram is many ventures. Again, if you cannot handle, keep it simple. Radhanath Maharaj always says, keep people over projects, not other way. Many times we keep projects over people. So no, keep people over projects. People are more important. Vaishnavas are more important. Projects will happen, may not happen, but people, Vaishnavas are more important. Bahu Shastra Vyakhya Vivadadi Tyagaha. So we are reading for the sake of defeating others, again, gaining name and fame. That's not the point. Yes, we can read, we should read, and we should be able to explain, back up our comments, whatever we say, based on our Shastra. Prabhupada said, devotee should know my books as a lawyer know the law books. So Prabhupada said you should read my books very carefully. But again, the point is not reading for the name and fame. Radhanath Maharaj also said, if you're reading any Acharya's commentary, we're talking obviously bona fide, for every 1 hour you read those commentaries, you should read 4 times more Prabhupada books. So Prabhupada books are our basis. One of the Prabhupada disciples said to Prabhupada, my favorite author is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You know what Prabhupada said? Your favorite author should be me. Now, here Prabhupada is not being egoistic. All he is saying, you should try to read my books, and then you will be able to understand Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book. Because sometimes we may start explaining this Acharya said that, that Acharya said that. But let's look at from Prabhupada's eyes, then our understanding will become more deepened. Otherwise, again, we may get dragged away in this, yeah, I'm giving higher references in those sort of mentality. So we should make sure we read Prabhupada books as our basis. My Guru Maharaj said, he was asked, there are many, many books in the market, many devotees are writing books, wonderful books they are writing. So Maharaj was asked, so how should we sort of make a balance between reading Bhagavatam and other books? So Guru Maharaj said, very nice analogy. He said, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, and Nectar of Devotion. These are like sabji, roti, dal, and chawal. And everything else, Maharaj said, is like chutney and papad. Can you survive on chutney and papad? Huh? You need dal, roti, chawal, sabji. Huh? So he said, first you take dal, roti, chawal, sabji, and on a side you can take some papad, some chutney. Huh? That's fine. So we're not against those books, and there are many, many wonderful books out there. But do not just rely on chutney and papad, because that will not nourish your body properly. Huh? So these four books is our base book. Once we have studied, we have some extra time, then we can spend some extra time in reading other books. But we should get mastery in these four books as a first thing. First thing, because today, these days, devotees are reading all sorts of books, and that's okay, but they're not reading Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. Guru Maharaj said, first you need to take dal, chawal, roti, sabji, main meal. And then side, yes, you can take one rasgulla. That's no problem. But don't ignore your main meal. So that's a very nice analogy. We should never ignore Prabhupada books. They are our basis. Okay. Last four for this series. So Vyavahar, Karpan, Nityaga, give up miserly behavior. Anyone remembers what does miserly behavior mean here? Very quickly. Miserly. Give more donation to temple. Is that what it means? Prabhu only gave $1. Prabhu, you must give more dollars. Yes, Sundar Prabhu?
Prabhu, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Prabhu.
Okay, sorry. I was having some issues with the mic. So
No problem.
miser is somebody who does not think about Krishna consciousness.
Yes. Just thinking about selfish motives, selfish desires. Even within Krishna consciousness, we can be miserly, isn't it? My bhakti should get completed and let others go to hell. I don't care, huh? No, we should give each other's opportunity. Prabhuji, you go in the class and sit. We should make arrangements, and every devotee should be able to come and sit in the Bhagavatam class rather than 5 devotees in the kitchen, 3 devotees outside. We should make arrangements like that. Some home programs goes on, and I see many, many devotees in the kitchen, this and there. No, everyone should be sitting in the class. Why we are here and there? Bhagavatam is the most important thing. Guru Maharaj said, when Bhagavatam goes on, everything in the world should stop. This is how important it is. He said, other things anyone can do. Now we should arrange appropriately. We cannot ignore other sevas. We are not saying that, but arrange in such a way that every single devotee should be able to sit and hear Srimad Bhagavatam when it's going on. And if the food variety is little less, so what? So what? With other decorations are less, so what? If we can balance appropriately, most important should be given to Shravanam of Srimad Bhagavatam from a mouth of a sadhu. I give this example of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, very nice example. He was such a big sadhu. Anyway, a big person in Delhi, his disciple, invited Maharaj for a class in his house. And when Maharaj came, he offered him a seat and all that. And then he went into the kitchen preparing prasadam for Maharaj. And for 40 minutes, Gopal Krishna Maharaj was there in his house. Both husband and wife did not come out of the kitchen. After 40 minutes, they came out, and Maharaj said, where were you? Maharaj, we were preparing dinner for you. And Maharaj was angry at them. He said, I'm not here to take your dinner. When I come or any sadhu come, you should come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So you are cooking while ignoring your guru is there, and you are not attending the class. He was angry and he did not eat. Among Leela Prabhu tells in his class, by the my reference point is Among Leela Prabhu. So he was upset at the disciple. He said, I'm not here to eat your dinner or lunch. I'm here to, give Krishna. And you both went inside. So many times we think other preparations are very important, very, very important. When Vaishnavas come, I have to attend them and see of them, this and that, and class is going on. So much goes on. When Bhagavatam starts, everyone should just give up everything. Radha Govind Maharaj said even Mataji should not make garlands while Srimad Bhagavatam class. It's a clear reference by Radha Govind Maharaj. And I will not explain what else Maharaj said. He said, no, no two tasks. Definitely not chanting. Many devotees chant while the class. Is definitely not recommended. Not recommended. You just hear Bhagavatam. You hear Bhagavatam. They're trying to catch up with their rounds in the class. I've seen in meetings, Ishtagostis, people are chanting and they're talking and chanting, talking and chanting. Anyway, so Shravanam is extremely important. This is the only way we can try to understand, especially when a sadhu is speaking. So we should definitely try at our best capacity to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. When it starts, just stop everything. Everything else will be worked out. If something is less, it's okay. It's okay. That's not so important. Shoka Krodadi Tyaga, we should not again have faith in Krishna, what has happened, what will happen. All these Karpanyata should not be there. Krishna will look after it. Again, not prematurely or impractically, but again, after taking some certain good measures. Devantar Ninda Tyaga, definitely not blaspheming the demigods because they're also devotees, although they are Sakam, but they're also devotees. Pramatre Udvek Tyaga, giving up the harassment of other living entities, definitely. From our mind, body, and words, we are trying to respect and give love and care to other living entities, definitely not into harassment or exploitation. And Prabhupada said, even not giving chance for spiritual advancement is also a violence. So we should try to avoid as much as possible any level of violence for any living entities, including our people who are not favorable for our bhakti. Even for those, we should pray nicely. Okay, so this is what we discussed in chapter 7. Now we're starting chapter 8. Now, chapter 8 is very interesting chapter. Sorry, any questions for chapter 7 from anyone? Okay, everyone fully satisfied? Okay. The devotees who are not in the camera, again, request if you can please switch on your camera. It's really nice because I know we all want to do multitasking. Just for 2 hours, you're listening Srila Prabhupada. So just sit and hear unless there's emergency, then please go. But yeah, just try to sit and hear. I may ask some questions, but that's not important. It's just for discussion and learning purpose. Nothing much. And if you cannot sit and hear, probably don't need to join the class. You can do the other activity because otherwise you're neither listening class nor attending the other activity. So just attend one activity attentively. That's very nice. Okay, Ujjwala Samataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
one question about when the sadhu is visiting your place, and let's say the worship of the Lord is going on. So, what is given priority, worshipping the Lord or
No.
welcoming the
I'll give
sadhu?
you example of Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada visited a big family in Kolkata, a big businessman, and Prabhupada went with his disciples. I heard recently actually in a class by one of the Prabhupada disciples, and he said Prabhupada arrived with his disciples morning time around 9-10 o'clock. And the meeting was pre-arranged, not that Prabhupada just arrived on the door. So his servant came out and he gave nice seat to Prabhupada. And he spoke respectfully. And he said, my master is doing puja, so please wait. And then he left, the servant left. So Prabhupada told his disciples, and this is one of the disciples who was explaining the class, Prabhupada said, he doesn't understand it. He doesn't understand it. So quit your puja, go and attend the sadhu. Another example I'll give you from Ramayana. Kag Bhushundi, 100 births before, long story short, he was a great devotee of Lord Shiva. He was doing worship of Lord Shiva. His Guru Maharaj came and his Guru Maharaj was waiting outside. Lord Shiva, Guru Maharaj did not mind because his disciples doing puja. Lord Shiva minded. And he appeared and he cursed Kagbhushundi in that birth. He was a human being. He cursed, you're disrespecting my dear devotee who is your guru. You're doing so-called puja of me. And he cursed right on the spot. He said, you should leave your body and take, hundreds of birth. like that. When Guru heard the curse of Lord Shiva, he started praying to Lord Shiva. He is my child, he is ignorant, he doesn't understand. Please don't give him curse like that. So Shiva said, okay, I already given the curse. What can I do? He said, okay, you have given the curse that he will take 100 births, but the pain of death and birth he should not experience. So Guru is praying to Lord Shiva to reduce the pain of birth and death. And Lord Shiva said, okay, so he will not realize the pain. His 100 births will go fast very, very quickly. And in the final birth, he will become a great devotee. This is what the Kalbhushan we see today. So the answer to your question, Mataji, is leave puja, attend a Vaishnava who has come to your house. Okay. Anyone else?
Thank you.
Okay, Hare Krishna. Now, chapter 8, very important chapter, especially for sadhakas like us. This only describes one element, the 19th element, which is the Nivritti Marg, and 19th is how to avoid aparadh. Now, aparadh is a very interesting word. Aparadh is made up of two words, apa and radha. So the root actually is radha. What does radha means? Aradhana, worship. Aradhana means worship because Radharani name comes from there. Radharani, as soon as she appeared, she started worshipping Krishna. So Appa refers to opposite, Radha refers to Aradhana. But what takes you away from Aradhana, worship of Krishna, that is called Aparadha. So we should definitely avoid aparadh. Now there are two things which can be negative in our devotion life. One can be pap, one can be aparadh. Pap refers to any activity which is committed negatively, obviously against Shastra, but Krishna or Krishna's devotees are not involved in that. It's definitely wrong, no doubt about it. But Krishna or Krishna's devotees are not involved. But in the same activity, if Krishna or his devotees are involved, the same activity will be called as aparadh. I became angry on wall. I broke a wall or something, wrong activity. But I became angry at a devotee of Lord. Now, because devotee is involved, Lord is involved. And devotee may not mind, Lord will mind. How come? Suppose your son or daughter, small son or daughter, goes to your neighbor house and they disrespect your son or daughter. Would you like him or her? Hare Krishna, he's my son. He's very, very dear to me. How can you speak to my son like that, especially if your son was not wrong? You'll get upset. You'll get upset at those persons, and that's natural. So similarly, Krishna's devotees are very, very dear to Krishna. They do not mind. They do not mind if someone offends them, but Krishna, Tumhara charane sada. No, not that's not the line. Tuma sthane aparadhe tare hari naam. Tuma sthane means we're referring to Krishna. Tuma sthane aparadhe tare hari naam. If you offend Krishna, Krishna don't mind. How are you going to offend Krishna? He's a supreme personality of God. But anyway, you say some bad words to Krishna. Krishna doesn't exist. Krishna is Maya, blah, blah, blah. You chant Harinam, and that will be fine. Krishna is all right. But bhakta sthane aparad. If you do aparad to a bhakta, nahi paritran, then you cannot come out. And the famous example is Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj was happy to take whatever punishment Durvasa Muni was giving with folded hands. No grudges, no grudges. I'll see you later. Nothing like that. Parikshit accepting the curse. No problem. I'll die in 7 days. No problem. Parikshit could have actually attacked Indraloka. Parikshit was so powerful, he could have attacked Indraloka and take Takshak with Indra out and cut their head. Parikshit had so many power. Parikshit could have prayed to Krishna directly. He had access to Krishna directly. Even without his prayers, Krishna came and protected. Just understand his position, right? Krishna loves him so much. What if he would pray to Krishna? Parikshit could have gone to Shringi and said, Shringi, take your curse back. Huh? He could have approached Shringi's father. Tell your son to do something. Huh? He could have done so many things. Folded the hand, no problem. It's Krishna. It's not the curse, it's Krishna coming in our life. So many times, many negative situations come, we become very agitated. But we should see the hand of Krishna. Krishna Maharaj was saying every single thing is these sort of things approved by Krishna. We always forget. And I'm trying to remind myself as well, I'm the same one. But trying to remind myself that no, if this has happened, this has been approved by Radha Gopinath. So no, not so much agitation is needed actually. It's all right. Radha Gopinath has approved it. It looked wrong, but Radha Gopinath knows better than me. So these examples show us we should not get involved in aparad, definitely not in sin, but sin can be counteracted. But counteracting aparad is very, very harsh. So this whole chapter will describe what aparad is, what is the importance of aparad, and how we should not commit certain aparadas. Now, the bottom line of aparad is don't become disrespectful to Krishna or his devotees, right? That's the bottom line. Everything else is detail. Huh? So if you become disrespectful to Krishna or his devotees, this is not good for you. And the list is given in this whole chapter, which we'll read in a minute. But again, the point here is don't be disrespectful. So the ways our acharyas have written this, there are two sources for these aparadas, which are given by Rupa Goswami. So he has taken first section of aparad from Agamas, which actually is written originally by Sanatan Goswami in Hari Bhakti Vilas. Now, Sanatan Goswami, and I'm not sure, I've not read Hari Bhakti Vilas in that extent, also may not have given the reference from exactly which agamas they're coming from. So we don't have the sources of those agamas, but what we know as per Prabhupada, these aparad are taken from agamas, first section. Second section is taken from Varaha Purana. So Varaha Dev is speaking with Prithvi Devi. So they are the two sources of this chapter, which we're going to read right now. Okay. Now Rupa Goswami says there are two basic aparad. One is seva aparad, another one is nam aparad. So we'll read seva aparad first, and then we'll read nam aparad. Nam aparad, most of us already know. Now, what are the two kinds of aparad? Seva and nam, as we can see. Seva means when we do the deity worship, we do some aparad. We may do some aparad, so we should avoid those aparad. And nam aparad, when we are chanting, we may do some aparad. As we know, chanting have three stages. The first one is Nam Aparad, second is Namabhas, and third is Shuddhanam. So we're talking about that first one, Nam Aparad. So Seva Aparad and Nam Aparad. Rupa Goswami also talks about worship of Ganpati, and Prabhupada has also explained that. So we'll touch upon worship of Ganpati as well, because it's very, very, very popular in India. Okay, so avoiding seva aparad, giving up all offenses committed in deity worship. So before we start, what are those seva aparadas? Let's discuss what is the remedy of that. How do you protect yourself from seva aparad? Regulated chanting removes and counteract offenses. Constant engagement in service, praying for forgiveness. So if we follow these three principles, our intentions are good, the probability is we will not commit any offenses in the deity worship. I'll read them again. Regulated chanting, if you're doing chanting nicely, probabilities will not commit seva aparad. Constant engagement. Suppose you have committed a seva aparad, Sri Prahlad Prabhu said, you should not stop deity worship, rather you should pray to the deities and again do the deity worship. No? So it's not, oh, I will be doing aparad, so I'll not do deity worship. No, nothing like that. You have done aparad unintentionally, something has happened, that's fine. Do more deity worship and ask for forgiveness from the deities, and deities will help you to remove that aparad from your heart, praying for forgiveness. This is the best remedy for contracting anything, praying for forgiveness from Vaishnavas, from deities, from sometimes ourselves as well. Sometimes we become too harsh to ourselves. So we should say, no, that's okay. We're all humans, we're learning. Okay, so let's read this. Maybe one Vaishnav can read 5 and like that. So we can just read and we'll quickly discuss. So Mohit Prabhu is ready to read the first 5.
Yeah, Prabhu. One should not enter a temple of the deity in a car or palanquin or with shoes on the feet.
So we all understand that one. So we should not enter into the temple or that area, which is very, very purified area, very respectful. Yeah, no matter how big you are, you have to remove your shoes. It says you should even wash your feet if that's possible. Then enter. Again, we are entering into a very sacred place. So we're being respectful. Yes, Prabhu.
One should not fail to observe the various festivals for the pleasure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, such as Janmashtami and Rath Yatra.
So we should not say, oh, I forgot yesterday was Rath Yatra. No. We are not devotees. That way, your calendar should be able to reflect all these important festivals. No? Some small festivals we may miss out, but yeah, you should make calendar in such a way, schedule your job in such a way that you are able to do some seva on that day as best as possible. Yes, Prabhu.
One should not avoid bowing down before the deity.
Unless again you have medical situation for your body, yes, you should offer obeisances. Even if you can't do anything. When Bhishma Pitama was on the bed of arrows, he was offering obeisances. How? Anyone remembers? Mohit Prabhu, how was he offering obeisances to the
By
sages?
blinking his
Mind,
eyes.
Thank
mental.
you. So the worst thing you can do, you can blink your eyes. Huh? Parikshit Maharaj also, when the sages was coming, doing the same. He's listening katha. He cannot get up and do pranam. Just with the eyes, he was welcoming the Vaishnava. So it's the attitude. Huh? It's the attitude. This says if some Vaishnava comes to your house, you should do 16 upchars. 16 upchars. If you cannot do 16, at least do one upchar. Welcome him or her with your sweet words. Thank you, Prabhuji, Mataji, for coming and purifying. Even if he seems to be your enemy, he has come to your house. Now he's not your enemy. You should give him or her proper respect. Again, depending on your situation, but definitely when we go down, go in front of deities, we should offer respects as best as possible. Now, for the Matajis, it can be Panchang or Shashtang Pranam for the Prabhujis, but yeah, do your best. Yes, Prabhu.
The same thing like when we do with the mind, like a mansik, we do that's susceptible as well. Like
If your
it's
body is
high,
not,
so we can
sorry,
half bow down, fold our
yeah, if
hands.
your body is not well, Prabhu, you have back pain and all those things, yes, you can just fold your hands and put your head down, whatever is possible for your body. But you should try. The point is, you're not being lazy, you're
Yeah.
trying your best, and within that best, it can be just folding the hands. Many times, some devotees have back pain, they cannot always bow down because we bow down a lot. Every time we enter into the temple, we go in the temple, we boing, boing, boing. But that is so nice. It is so nice. It's for our purification. Okay, yes, next.
One should not enter the temple to worship the Lord without having washed one's hand and feet after eating.
Yeah, so not like eating and you're going walking like a casual thing. It's not casual. Lord, Supreme Lord is personally there. So it's a very respectful place. Yes.
One should not spread his leg before the deities.
Again, the point is don't be casual, huh? पता ही नहीं है कैसे बैठे हैं. So just be respectful. Is a most respectful personality. Yes, Prasannatma Prabhu, we have a point to add.
No, Prabhu, I just had a like if you see in the Christian community, like when they go to church, they go in shoes and with suit and still they pray, and I don't know how is that.
Yeah.
They
But
even drink too.
Yeah.
But Prabhu, the point is, not every theology in the world is connecting yourself to the God at the same level. Our philosophy is so deep, so deep. Their philosophy, you can say, yeah, they have some good points and we respect them, but there is no deep connection. They have these 10 commandments and that's it. But here Krishna is saying, "Yathe tatha kuru," like a loving father. Beta, I told you, you do what you want to do. Huh? Our connection is very, very deep. Our theology is the best theology. Again, it's based on objective measures. It's not just emotions.
But were they set up by Jesus Christ? Those what we got here, but
I
those.
cannot say that, Prabhu, but I've heard in some lectures at least, many things have been changed from the original, Prabhu. And
Okay.
yeah, it's
Okay.
hard to say to a conclusion, but many, many things have changed. Many kings have changed the Bible as per their favorite things. They've changed the Bibles. So now how much is the original, how much is not original as it is, I don't know.
And I was just thinking how it works. For us, we completely opposite, but still they go to church, they glorify, and
But the
how the
point is, Prabhu,
mentality.
but if you even if you look at the Vedic perspective, Prabhu, Vedic perspective is very inclusive. It does not deny anyone. So even if someone folding hands to God and praying, that's nice. It may not be the best way, but that's very nice. The principle we should look, Prabhu. Now these are some details. Suppose you cannot wash your hand and feet. What do you do? Sometime you're going in the car, you eat something, and then you still want to chant your rounds. What do you do? Om pavitro pavitro va sarvastam gatopi va ya smaret pundarikaksham sadhaya vyanta suchihi. Om Shri Vishnu, Om Shri Vishnu, Om Shri Vishnu. You know what I'm saying? So in the emergencies, we also have some procedures. But again, the principle is so sweet, so sweet. We are coming close to a person who is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's not a casual person. So if you look at from that perspective, it's a sweet, sweet.
And in Vrindavan, Prabhu, when you are doing parikrama, in Govardhan parikrama, we have this special chapels which is allowed to enter into the.
No chappal is allowed for parikrama. Again, unless your body doesn't allow, we should not wear even socks. Socks, Vaishnavas say, I'm not saying it again for practical purpose. You can
But
wear.
I know, Prabhu, in Vrindavan and there is special chapels which you can buy there only for parikrama, and that chapels are allowed even to enter into the temple actually.
I don't know about them, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
What I understand, even socks are not considered very
It's
nice.
very, very thin kind of, you have to buy.
Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Many things are popular these days, but that's not authorized, at least in my knowledge. Even the socks are not allowed. Socks are considered half shoes. So many devotees in Vrindavan, even in the severe cold, they will never wear socks in the temple room. I wear, I'm being honest here, right? So again,
I
we have
wear.
to be practical, but the point here is the principle we should understand. How much we can follow, that's our body. That's different. But principle we should understand and have respect of.
Okay.
So chappals are not allowed in Vrindavan Parikrama. Guru Maharaj actually said, I don't like chappals on Parikrama. If you're doing Parikrama with chappal, you're not being respectful to the Govardhan. Again, for practical purposes, what you do, that's absolutely up to you. But the principle is no. Govardhan is worshipable deity. That's why we never even go on top of Govardhan, because it's worshipable to us. There are many temples we don't go on top. Gaudiya Vaishnavas don't go. Okay.
Okay,
Now
bro.
again, keep
Okay,
your bodily things not as a standard for others. If you're doing something, again, it does not. A standard is from Shastra. How much I am able to do, that may be different to what you are able to do. And we should be respectful to each other. If someone is wearing chappal and doing parikrama, we should still be very respectful to that person. He's at least doing parikrama. We should not judge others. Arey Prabhu, what parikrama you are doing? No, Prabhu, you are doing. That's very nice of you. So again, these rules and regulations are only for us, not to judge others. What they are doing, let them do. Unless you are their authority.
So like, for when we are doing, if we have inconvenience, then we can, because when I went last time, I couldn't do, then I bought the chapel and continued.
That's fine. Yep. So that's fine. So your body limitation, Prabhu, Yeah. And again, the principle of seva is the highest. All the things, Prabhu, whatever we are reading here, what is the final point? Remember Krishna and do not forget Krishna. That's the whole idea. Now, what details, Prabhu, you do, what I do, that's up to us, and Krishna understands. I know there was one person next to me in Mayapur Parikrama. He had some leg operation. But Prabhu, he could not walk. He had clutches. He had a rickshaw with him for all the 7 days, which will take him from every place. But Prabhu, his enthusiasm was like 100 times more than me. I'm being honest. My both legs were fine. But his enthusiasm was so much. He was like as if he is completely normal. I was so inspired by him, Prabhu. So inspired by him. And he went on Vrindavan Parikrama as well, Mayapur Parikrama as well. He's everywhere. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. And this person is like, okay, he had a rickshaw, that's fine. But he was so enthusiastic. So I was like, all glories to you, Prabhu. The point is not the external so much as the principle.
Okay. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So Divya Mata's hand as well.
Prabhu, I was asking a similar question
Yes,
because
Mata.
these days a lot of times people do Govardhan Parikrama in a car as well.
Yes.
So is that seva aparad or again?
No, first thing, Mata, there is no aparad in any things.
Okay.
First thing first. A person has gone to Govardhan, he will get some blessings. Definitely. That's the first thing. Depending on his time, his body, his situation, we don't know. But again, try. If your body is well, why not? Do something with this body before it goes off. That's the point. Now you can do in rickshaw, in car, in shoes, in socks, and then bare feet, whatever works for you. But the principle is be respectful. And my Guru Maharaj used to say, when you come dham, don't try to squeeze too many things. Just focus on few things, do it nicely. We're trying to capture, 100 places in 2 days. It doesn't work. Just go to 2 places, just be calm and cool and just relish that pastime of Krishna in that spot. That's my understanding.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Acharya Prabhuji.
Quick question, Prabhuji. Like you mentioned about judging, and I think I always struggle. While knowing all the shastras, as I know more, that automatically start coming. As the time permits you, please cover a, a remedy or tricks to not to judge, and also how can we make sure that while most of the time if I get to know and if I say, oh, this shastra says this, that automatically instinctively that thing comes. How do I make sure that we try to ignore that situation and that doesn't result into that someone thinks that I'm ignoring at the
Yes.
same time? Thank
So,
you.
Prabhu, the basic principle is many times we look at other people from our eyes, including Vaishnavas. Huh? If we start looking instead of from our eyes, it's called a horizontal relation. We have a vertical relation, right? If we look at from the eyes of Krishna, so this Vaishnava may be physically not well, maybe mentally he's a little harsh and all those things. But if we're looking from our eyes, we are judging him from our understanding. If we judge him from Krishna's understanding, this is also Krishna's son. Suppose your father has, four sons. Two sons are very good looking, two sons are not so good looking. They may have some bodily incapacities, for example. But your father loves all four of you equally. Rather, he will love those two who have some incapacities more than you, isn't it? Huh? Because they are little incapable in their lives. So actually, he will look after them more than you because you are healthy, you're good. Huh? But you're looking from your eyes. No, look at from your father's eyes. And if you disrespect those who have some incapacities, will your father like it? So, to avoid judgment, our Acharya says the best remedy is we look them through the eyes of Krishna. They're also part and parcel of Krishna's family. And if we want to marry Krishna, this is what our Acharya says, we have to marry with the family of Krishna. And family, again, Acharya speak this. If a girl want to marry to a boy, so it's a girl does not just marry to the boy. Girl marry to the family of the boy. In the family, the boy's mother may be little sick, maybe little angry. The boy's father may be little sick. The boy may have a mentally retarded sister. So when the boy tells to the girl, if you want to marry with me, you have to marry all of them together. Do you agree? And if the girl agrees, then the marriage will be successful, isn't it? Otherwise, Mataji will say, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I thought we'll go to America and live alone. No, 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 I want to live with my family. So Krishna doesn't want to leave his family, and his family has all sorts of people. And they are there specifically designed, we should think like that, for us. Matra sparshastu konteya shitoshna sukha. So you should consider those Vaishnavas in your life who are giving you hard time. This is by Niranjan Maharaj, he said. Prabhupada words, Niranjan Maharaj said, tough people come in our life to test our sincerity. So tough people come in our life to test our sincerities. How sincere we are will be known when we face with tough people who will challenge our Krishna consciousness, who will challenge our Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Matsar. So when they come, we should be actually very respectful and thank Krishna, thank you for arranging this exam for me. So very hard, I'm just saying, but yeah, if we start looking at from Krishna's perspective, Prabhu, our judgmental mentality will go down. And one more thing, I should always see good qualities in others as much as possible. If he has one good quality, maybe 99 bad qualities, which I see, just stick to that one quality. Or this Vaishnava is very humble. He comes to temple he's very angry, but he comes to temple so just stick to that positive qualities and slowly our judgment mentality will go down. So glorification and looking at the positive side of it. Yes, Sanjay Vyas Prabhu. Prabhu, you're on mute.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you. Prabhu, my question is, take Govardhan Parikrama as an example. We come to Mukharvind temple on the way back on the Badi Parikrama. And Prabhu, I'm using this as an example, but I've got a couple of other temples in mind as well. The way the temple administrators behave, for example, when I last went over there was a line for VIPs, like people who were paying extra and they were having darshan quickly. And then there was the general population line from which I had entered. And we were being made wait. We were being waited. Sorry. we were waiting for around 45 minutes just before we could sort of take darshan and continue on. And similarly, we also seen Bhakti Bihari as well. Like if you pay a certain amount, you get to go upstairs. And they are so vocal about it, Prabhu, that everyone can hear that. Like everyone can, whoever
Yes.
is there, they can hear.
Okay.
Ki,
I
"Paisa
think
do to yahan par aao."
I
So
think I
that
get the
is
question, Prabhu.
so that example that they're setting, then everyone sort of feels that it's an economy. So
Yeah. Prabhu, I think our simple response to that, we are no one to judge them. We are there for darshan. It happens in many temples. I don't want to name it, and many people will know that. But the point is, we go with Shraddha to take darshan of the deities. We do your best. And yeah, many times it's becoming impractical because of crowd. Stampede had also happened in these sort of situations. So we offer our respects and then come back. And Prabhupada or Acharyas also said, ISKCON has everything. So you go to ISKCON Vrindavan, sit there, again, not being lazy here, and just relish the holy name there, and all the mercy of the Dham will be bestowed upon you. Again, I'm not trying to be lazy here. I'm just trying to be practical here. So just go and sit in the temple. That can also be a good option. But yeah, we should not judge other temples' administration. I also have felt many times, but yeah, our authorities have told we should not judge them because somehow or other, Sanjay Prabhu, they have been appointed by the Lord and they've been running the temple for many generations. So again, who are we to judge? What are they doing? Why are they doing? Like Jagannath Pandas as well. If you remember, some low castes were serving Ramanujacharya, tried to change the temple management, and Jagannath ji did not like it. Now, Ramanujacharya, practically speaking, was trying to improve the system. But Jagannath himself threw Ramanujacharya out of the Jagannath Puri. And he said, I'm happy with this team. You know what I'm saying? So, in your vision, you may be trying to upgrade the seva. Jagannath says, I'm happy. So, Prabhu, why they don't follow Ekadashi and all that, right? Who are we to judge? So, best is not to judge because we never know they are Brajavasis. So, do your best and come back to our Prabhupada temple. That's my understanding. If you get upset, I think it's not a very nice gesture. Hold yourself. Okay,
Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Rasanand Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, now
Hare Krishna.
going through this list of Seva Bradar, like for instance 5, 9 and 13. Now if we see these things in a temple, can we correct them?
Okay, again, unless correcting others should have three principles, not in temple, in everywhere else. First thing is, you should be an authority for correcting that person. Huh? A father can correct the child. That also in a limited age these days. Very difficult. These days, children correct fathers or mothers. Anyway, you understand you should have authority. Now, you should have a mood of compassion for them. And third is, you should have right timing. Now, if you follow these three principles, yes, you can correct. But if these three principles you cannot follow for whatever reason, actually, no. Now, if someone, some children are crying, you can just respectfully go to the parent, Mataji, please look after the children, the devotee is praying and all that. But again, if they don't listen to you, they don't listen to you. That's the point. But just a normal thing. So if you can do that, yes, do that. Otherwise, matra sparshastu konte yashitoshna sugata. Because if you become authoritative, Prabhu, it may become a very discouraging situation. It may become a scene. Someone may not listen to you. You may be trying to convey, hey, look at this. That's the rule. But again, at the same time, if some disrespectful things are happening in the temple, even if you're not authority, we can grab authority. Or some recently, some man was doing something wrong in the temple, and someone else had to be called upon and taken action. So you cannot just be a spectator. But like talking loudly before the deity, you cannot be going around with a stick and correcting everyone. Again, if the extreme happens, then you have to take charge. That time you have to take charge and do the appropriate thing. Today I thought I'll finish chapter 8 and 9. I've just started chapter 8. Okay, last question we'll take and we'll move forward. Yes, Ujjwala Samataji.
Prabhu, sometimes it is seen that some people dress very inappropriately for the temple environment, and it's very hard to just look past it. So should we just ignore it?
That's it, Mata. If you have relationship with that person, again, you have good relationship, Mataji or Prabhuji, this is not appropriate. Now in Mayapur, if you see, I'm not sure in Vrindavan, Mayapur, they stop you at the gate. I went Mayapur once at 9 o'clock Aarti. I was in my shorts, and the security guard threw me out. He said, "Get out from here." I liked it actually. I really liked it. I said, "Thank you." I didn't know. That's it. I was just 9 o'clock. I was just like, one more darshan. And he said, "No, you can't enter." I loved it. I loved it. And that's it. Just once and forever. But we don't have that system here. Here is like Udara Sarve Vaite. Whoever comes to Krishna are very generous. You come in, short clothes or whatever. But again, we should become a role model at least. When we go to the temple, we should be very well dressed in a Vaishnava attire, not pants and jeans and all that. You're going in front of Supreme Personality as best as possible. And how my dress, as Chaitanya Prabhu says, passes a message for me. So if I'm appropriately dressed, again, my heart may be black, but again, dressing is also a sign of respect. It's not the only sign of, but it's a sign of respect. So when I dress appropriately, I encourage other Vaishnavas that they should also come in that attire. So we should make sure I do the right thing. After that, yeah, I know what you're saying, Mataji. I also feel sometimes the temple. Are you sure in this dress you're coming to temple? And sorry to say, they are not the first time comers. They've been coming to temple and they still come in the inappropriate dress. You just have to turn your face somewhere else because you're not the authority and you don't have that relation. So, and anyway, I don't want to go on. That's just on us. Make sure you go in the temple in Vaishnava attire, encourage others for the same mood. Yes. Charumata, last question.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. So the point number 7 says one should not sit before the deity holding the ankles, elbows, or knees with one's hand. If it's a very long class, we tend to become fidgety. Oh, not because you're not
Yes.
interested in the class.
Yeah.
It's only because
Yeah, your body is not able
your
to
body
handle.
doesn't
Absolutely. I also
allow
do
you
that.
to. So then
Yeah.
I have actually seen Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj correct someone just with his gesture. Do not sit this way in the class when he was here one time.
Jad Maharaj was also here. He was also correcting people in the class.
So what should we do if your body
Just
just
be practical. Be practical. Yeah. And do it for what I do. I switch over basically. Okay, my practical situation. I also cannot sit for too long. So I switch by positioning and then I re-switch back to my normal posture. Again, it's not such a hard and fast thing. Again, the point is be respectful to the Vaishnava or to the deity whom you're listening to. So that's the point. It's not like, okay, our body is old, it has limitations. पैर सो जाता है. I don't know how to translate persona in English.
numb, it just goes, you get
Becomes
pins and
numb, yeah.
needles in your
Yeah,
leg.
so it happens. So yeah, it's not such a great thing, Mataji. Yeah. Do the best. Okay, let's move forward. Who can read next 5? Anyone? Now, Prabhu, would you like to?
Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna. Number 6.
Number 6, one should not lie down before the deity of Krishna.
Very obvious, huh? Some children may lie down, but as an adult, we should understand it's a very sacred place. 7, we have already done, Prabhu. Let's do 8.
Okay. One should not enter the temple in a contaminated state. According to Vedic scripture, if someone dies in the family, the whole family becomes contaminated for some time, according to its status. For example, if the family is Brahmana, their contamination period is 12 days. For the Kshatriyas and Vaishyas, it is 15 days, and for Shudras, 30 days.
Now, again, this guideline is given. Don't look at as it is. Take guidance from your superiors in temple because for Vaishnavas, rules are a little different. And who are we to judge others? Oh, you are a Shudra, you should not be coming to temple for 30 days. So be careful again. You do your best. Call your temple authority. Prabhuji, this has happened. How long before I can come back to temple? And he will tell you nicely. He's very knowledgeable. I mean, Ghanshyam Prabhu here, for example, right? So yeah, take guidance. And absolutely do not judge others. Prabhu, why are you here? You should not be in the temple. You are a Kshatriya. It's only 6 days have passed. No, leave it to the temple authorities, all those things. Yeah, but someone is ignorant, he's asking your suggestion, you may give a guideline of Shastra. Sundar
Prabhuji.
Gopal Prabhu, you have something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
just wanted to understand when they say it becomes contaminated, what does that exactly mean with that contamination?
Okay, basically the point is, so if someone, suppose my grandmother passed away, so my mental status is not good. I may be crying, I may be emotionally not so well. So if in that state I enter into the temple, I may disturb others' worship as well. Because when they see me, they are not encouraged. And I have bodily attachments, and we have to accept it, that that's just a part of life, right? So my presence may not be very conducive for others. I may start crying loudly in front of deities. And again, I may not be aware of it, right? All those scenes may happen. Do you think it's really helping other Vaishnavas to uplift for the purpose they have come there for? No. So it's better if I stay back, just get over my emotions in 12 days or 15 days, and then I come back to my seva. Again, if temple authorities allow you, you can come back in 9 days as well, in 10 days as well. Bhakti Rasavan Maharaj have given a beautiful guideline for that. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Namatar Prabhu, sorry, you were also saying something?
I was about to ask you the same question, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Why, I mean, what is contamination and why?
Yeah, it's our mental state we are talking. And also on a physical level, when you touch a dead body or a dead body is, home, it's not the best state as well. So, and there are some procedures which are made for good purpose. Yeah. Okay, let's move forward.
Prabhu, I had a question too.
Okay, Mata, please.
Sorry.
No
So,
problem. I love these questions actually.
Prabhu, we've seen that we don't consider a body, I mean, after the soul has passed away, we don't consider it to be pure, but then we see so many instances where the person is taken inside the temple or they circumambulate the deities. So, how do we understand that? But we don't allow the
Vash-
living person to come
Yeah.
to the temple because
Yeah.
someone has passed away in their house.
Yes,
So,
yes.
these two
Okay.
things seem a bit
Sure.
incongruous.
So a Vaishnava body, it says it's spiritualized completely, especially if you see the body of, say, Prabhupada or a sannyasi. So obviously you can understand their body is not just a material body. Their body is completely spiritualized because every bit of their body is used for the seva of Krishna. So if there are some elevated Vaishnavas like that, their body is brought inside the temple, and as you said, parikrama and all that happens, and their body is not even burnt. So much respect is done for the body. That's one point. Now, second point is we are not so elevated. So when these rules are made for us, I think it's for our good purpose, and we should follow them without like questioning to the detail, unless you are so elevated and your temple authority says no, you're allowed. There is no contamination on you. So that we leave it to our superiors. You ring your spiritual master again if you can and say, Maharaj, someone has passed away. Should I stop the seva for 10 days or continue? Your Guru Maharaj will tell you. Mother, you can continue or you should discontinue for 7 days. Mostly the answer is option 2. Number 1 will automatically happen. One time Prabhupada was asked, how do we know we are advancing? One time Prabhupada said, others will let you know. Others will let you know. So, you'll get feedback. You'll get feedback. A majority you can accept like that. Not every single feedback will be valid, but yeah, some feedbacks will always be negative. Nothing you can do about it. But majority of the Vaishnavas will give you a praise. No, this Vaishnava should be allowed. Just one example comes to my mind. Bhakti Rasavan Maharaj example, for example. He was given sannyas at a very early age. There were some rules and regulations, but other sannyasis said, you must give sannyas to this Vaishnava. They said it like that. Forget the rule. Because Bhakti Rasavan Maharaj was like one of the, leading persons, so eligible. They said, forget rules. Not that they did not follow the rules, but yeah, this Vaishnava must be given sannyas straight away. You got it. So Vaishnavas will give you feedback. Yeah. If not, just if they decide for me not to enter into the temple, it's fine. It's fine. Krishna is there with you all the time. But we don't stop our Gayatri and all that. That is very, very clear. No matter where you are, what situation in your family, you continue doing your Mala and Gayatri and all that. Okay. Okay, lots of hands coming, huh? People have questions. Okay, let's try. Acharya Nishtha, in Dukkha, we would want to come more in temple while we may not be allowed directly involved in Nepal. But again, our mental state, Prabhuji, is not conducive for others. That's the point. We have to remember others as well. And it says you should not allow oneself to cry in front of the deities. Suppose you are crying, suppose a scene, Prabhu, there are 200 people in the temple room, someone is crying a lot. Would you like that situation, Prabhu? Not that you're not sympathetic towards that person, but temple is for prayers, for jubilation, when we are coming ourselves up from the bodily attachment, material turbulences, we are trying to come up, and someone is bringing you down. Suppose if one cries, then two cry, and then three cry, because everyone has so many reasons to cry. So that's not a conducive environment. And Radhanath Maharaj also said, our tears should be private for Krishna. They are not public tears. If someone is shedding the tears in public, he's a fake person. Not always, but shedding sahajiyas. So if you have tears, and that's fine. There's no, Arjun cried, and Prabhupada said, yes, my Guru Maharaj also said. So personality is definitely respected, but that is in private. That's a private business. Krishna, please help. Please help like that. Okay, let's take two more. Ujjwala Samataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare
Yeah,
Krishna.
when the person passes, when any family member passes away, then of course the chanting must go on. I mean, that there's no doubt about that. There's no question about should we do that or not. But the worship at home, the puja at home, should be stopped for a
No,
few days.
yes,
And how many
yes.
days?
Okay, I don't remember the exact days. There are different days for different things. Bhakti Rasan Maharaj gives a whole guidelines. I'm trying to remember a message which was forwarded to me probably 2 years ago. I have to refer back to that message, Mataji. I don't want to give wrong information, but I think the guidelines were on the 10th day you can start worship the deities.
I think
Ideally,
for
if
us, Prabhu, it was given 11 or 12 days
okay,
till
Mata,
we do the ceremony.
I was
Ji.
thinking of
Yeah, we
taking
were
your name.
told when Mamiji left her
Yes.
body, that's
I
when.
remember that message of Maharaj, but yeah,
Ji.
11th day, Mata,
Yes, Prabhu.
11th day. And one more thing Maharaj wrote in that message, I also read that message, but it's been a while. Um, Ideally, if you can, deities should be taken to someone else's house. But if you cannot do that for some reason, someone else can come in your house and worship the deity on your behalf. And you should not do bhoga offering to the actual deities. You can just do offering to a photo. Ideally, the prasad should come from some other family to your house for those 10 days. But again, there are different situations. People may not be available to bring prasadam for you for 10 days. You may have to cook. Okay. So there are some cooking rules as a whole class, Mata. You should cook very, very simple, basically. No chonka, like no rai, no haldi, and all that. Again, the point is keep it simple, chant more, read Bhagavatam. That's the whole idea. Now, whatever works, you do that. Whole day should be spent in chanting and reading and hearing Krishna Katha.
The bhoga offering should be in front of the photo,
Not the DT, only the photos. Ideally, the prasad should come from outside, but again, it may not be possible for 10 days. So just in your kitchen, you may have a photo. Just do offering there, not in the actual plates and bowls, just temporary arrangements, and just offer your heart. Krishna will accept. Okay.
Sorry, Prabhu, similar
Yes.
thing on that. So this is when a family member passes away, but also when a baby is born in the family, that's not dukkha. But then why are we not allowed to go to the temple
Very
for
good.
till the naming ceremony?
Very good question. So there's a sukha situation, dukkha. Both we are impacted by. That's the problem. Because our consciousness, generally speaking, is quite rooted in the material world. Sometimes we feel overjoyed, sometimes we feel quite low. So someone passes away, we feel low. When we receive a son or a daughter, we are overjoyed. Also, our body is not so well as well. That time, mother is very tired. Father may also be very tired because of so much work it's been performed, and they may not be able to follow everything. And again, they may be talking too much about the body. So for all those reasons, settle down. Basically, Shastra is saying, settle down. Any turbulence come in your life, settle down. And then Shastra, what it has done very nicely, on certain occasions, it has sort of given you certain private space. You work yourself through and then come back to normal and then come and mingle with other Vaishnavas. But as I said, personal sadhana does not stop any time. I guess if there's a medical situation, it's different thing. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, now Tar Prabhu, you're getting a lot of questions on your 5 offenses list. Okay, where we were?
8.
9. Actually, 9 we didn't do. Oh yeah, 8 we were discussing. Hold
Just
on.
finished it.
9
9.
we can do, Prabhu. Yeah.
One should not bow down on one hand.
Now, this is very, very nice one. I have seen many Vaishnavas, and maybe I have also done in the past. I'm trying not to do it now. They have bead in their one hand, and one hand they bow down. Sometimes they touch the bead on the ground. Please do not do that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has clearly written about this, and I have read it. It's very nice. Take your beads out. I know if it's half finished, take it out, put it somewhere respectfully, bow down, and then accept the bead back that. Huh? So they just sometimes they put the bead bag without even considering it's Krishna. Bead bag is Krishna. And sometimes they lift their one hand up and one down and all those fancy things. There is no need for all those things. Bowing down means you bow down. Put your bead bag somewhere. If there's nowhere to place, put in your bag. It will take 10 seconds or something. And then you can restart chanting from the same point onwards. But yeah, do not bow down by one hand. It is one of the seva aparats. So please next time. Again, I also didn't know that in the past. Now I know, so I try. Yeah, please try to do that. It's a very simple thing, and this is written in the book, so it has a meaning. Yes, Vijay Gopi Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhu. This is a question related to the previous point and this point.
Number 8.
As you were saying, as you were saying, like bead bag is also Krishna. I recently had my auntie passed away last Sunday, but I was sitting with the bead bag and chanting the whole time next to her dead body. But is it like contaminating the
That's
bead
fine.
bag?
No, bead bag we should be washed. Yeah, as you wash your clothes, you should also wash. Now there are many rules for bead bag washing. I will not start discussion, otherwise it may become a very different discussion. But yeah, wash your bead bag, and it can be washed after, suppose the dead body is gone. You can wash your bead bag. There's no such big thing. Yeah. Okay.
Prabhu, can I ask one more question, please?
Okay, ma. Go for it.
Prabhu, I'm guilty of this. So sometimes in the temple room, after bowing to Krishna, Prabhupada, after paying my obeisances, I have paid obeisances to some older devotee in the temple, and they didn't like it. So they said, no, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But I didn't get that. I mean, I'd like to understand the reason for that.
Yeah.
Whilst we do offer our obeisances to Guru Maharaj or to visiting sannyasis, but we are not allowed to offer obeisances to
Yeah.
other
You can offer pranam mata just with hands, not a full bow down. It's out of respect to, because when Krishna is there, he's a supreme personality of Godhead. We'll talk about this mata, it's also coming. In front of Krishna, we should not offer the same respect. Like you have bowed down to Krishna, it's the same respect, right? You're offering to others. So basically, you're putting that person as par with Krishna. So yeah, with your hand, yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Mataji, and all that. With your heart, you offer, but not with the physical bowing down to them. It's not allowed, except if it is your spiritual master. We'll talk about that. Yeah, it's just putting anyone else at par with Krishna, which is not possible. But outside of temple room, for example, you see a Vaishnava, one chakal, full like body down, and then one chakal Tarvesha. Yeah. Okay. Ujjwala Samataji has another one.
Sorry, Prabhu, one
No
last quick
problem.
question.
As I said, I love all these questions. I just look at the times, but that's okay. Let's clarify our doubts as
Yeah,
much
just
as we
been
can.
curious about that for a
Sure.
long time, actually.
Sure.
When we have Vyas Puja celebrations and we are glorifying the spiritual master, different spiritual masters, and then the altar is open. So as we said, we should not be paying same respect to anyone like Krishna.
accept your spiritual master, and we'll talk about that.
So what do we do in that case? For example, this Vyas Puja is happening of a spiritual master who is not my spiritual master. So because it's a Vyas Puja, we should offer
Yes.
respect to Krishna first, and then the spiritual master whose Vyas Puja is being done.
Sorry. Last line. Can you repeat, Mataji?
So when we enter the temple,
Yeah,
when
yeah.
Vyas Puja is being celebrated,
Yes.
and Vyas Puja is not of my Guru Maharaj, it's
That's
someone
all
else.
right. That's all
So
right.
we pay respects to Krishna first, and then the spiritual master who is being glorified.
So basically, Mata, when you enter into the first is, we offer pranam on the door, which is to all the Vaishnavas,
Correct.
then you go to Prabhupada, and then
Yeah.
after Prabhupada, say he's another disciple, which is not your spiritual master, that his Vyas Puja is getting celebrated. So you offer pranam to Prabhupada, then you go to him, and then you go to
And then
Krishna.
Krishna. Okay.
Yeah. Like as you offering Prabhupada pranam, you do Prabhupada pranam, and after Prabhupada, his disciple. Now, he may be your guru, may not be that doesn't matter. He is a very dear devotee of Prabhupada. So you do that, and then you come on this side.
Thank you.
Excellent. Jai Dharma Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. It's just a
Hare
comment.
Krishna.
I think whatever Sanjay Vyas Prabhu was asking, just I had a similar thought, but especially when we visit even Lord Balaji in Tirupati, we have a separate queue for Dharma Darshan. So
I was thinking about the same example. I did not name it.
initially, even I had the same thing what Prabhu was telling, but I sometimes I feel maybe they are doing a donation, which is accepted by the temple authorities. That's why at least I won't become judgmental. I might be wrong, but I'll try to see, just ignore.
Yeah,
I
just
shouldn't be that.
ignore. I went to Balaji. I'll just share one little thing. I did not like to pay donation, to be honest. Not that I could not pay the donation, but because I just wanted to be in the general queue. But the general queue was going to take 2 days. I just didn't have 2 days. So I paid some money, some little money. And then I got into sort of VIP queue, and I took darshan. I came out because I only had limited time in that place. So although I would literally love to be in the simplest queue and wait, because I am the one of those persons. If that person cannot afford 100 rupees, so am I higher than that person? No. But the point is, I just don't have time. So I went there, I paid that extra money, something, and I took darshan, took 4 hours, 5 hours, something, and I came out. So, but yeah, I'm not judging anything there. Lord Balaji is allowing all that for years and years. Just let them do what they do, Prabhu. Yeah, when we become authority, we'll see. Okay, let's. Sanjay Vyas Prabhu has another point to add.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, Prabhu, because that kind of behavior enables the delay. Like, if you have a VIP queue, then that will sort of add to the delay of other sort of people as well, because you are sort of, I
Prabhu,
mean,
if you stand from VIP queue to normal queue, will it change the system? That's my point. Right, you have limited time for darshan, because when you go to India, our schedule is extremely busy, Prabhu. You cannot be just liberal to one place and then spend all the time. So we know the situation. So yeah, like that. I understand your point, Prabhu. Anyone been to Ujjain? Not Ujjain ISKCON, I'm talking Mahakaleshwar Mandir. Has anyone been to Mahakaleshwar Mandir near Bhubaneswar? Please go there and then talk to me. You'll get the real life experience there, Prabhuji. Real life experience. I went there and I thought, all due respect to deities, I'm not talking about deity, I'm talking the system here. I'm like, maybe never again. Never again. What scene I saw and heard, and like, okay, Hare Krishna. But again, someone is allowing that. And I went, I took darshan, I came out. And even I've heard in lectures about it, Prabhu, from Prabhupada disciples. It's shocking. I've heard about it more, and I've seen from my own eyes. But it's a temple, it's a great temple. Now, who I am to judge? Do your business, come out. Okay, Mohit Prabhu or Mataji.
Oh, just to add on to this point, I was listening on lecture and they are saying the same thing, VIPQ thing. And they say like if some senior devotees are coming, like some Maharaj is coming, if we need to go further bypassing the normal devotees because he has to give the class or other service, they are allowed to do that. And because they're doing load by giving a class. So in those scenarios, is it okay? And they said like If you're not doing any service, don't go in a VIP queue. At least do some seva in the temple and down when you go for a VIP queue. You should reciprocate. Like if some devotees, if they're paying donation, big donation to temple to help temple, they're okay to go for a VIP queue because they're supporting the temple. But like Prabhu says, sometimes it's good to ignore because we don't know the circumstances, other stuff, what other devotees are going through and they're doing. So I think in that instance, it's okay when senior devotees are going or they are, have some position or they are serving Lord, you know.
Good explanation. My point is there's no black and white answer, to be very
Yeah.
honest.
I
Just
think
do
it's
the
just our
best.
understanding and practicality, Prabhu. We have to
That's
use.
it. Suppose, Prabhu, you only have one day for Tirupati. I'm just saying, what are you
Yeah.
going to do? Be honest. You have one day. Now you can say, okay, next day is my visit to Vrindavan. So that you're also doing seva, right? You're doing Dham seva in that sense. So, yeah. Anyway, let's move forward. Do the best. And the bottom most line is have faith. Do darshan with faith, not with the money. Lord doesn't like that. Okay, move forward. Where is our Navata, Prabhuji?
Number 10. One should not circumambulate in front of Sri Krishna. The process of circumambulating the temple is that one should begin circumambulating from the deity's right hand side of the temple and come around. Such circumambulation should be performed outside the temple structure at least 3 times a day.
Now, this again, not every temple will have the facility first for circumambulation. And the second point is you should not show your back to the deity. Disrespectful. That's the whole idea. Anyway, be practical. Okay.
So is this rule also applicable to demigods, like when we go to other temples?
I don't know actually. I've not read it, so I'll not put my mind here. We usually don't visit. But yeah, be respectful. I don't want to name, but yeah, they are also Vaishnavas. The demigods also Vaishnavas. Yeah.
Like Mahashivratri, you must be visiting Shiva temple.
No, not. The answer is yeah. Again, yeah, it's not a disrespect, but for practical purposes. Yeah. You live close, Prabhuji.
Yeah, that's what and, I've seen devotees visiting.
That's all right. Prabhu, just leave what others do, they do, you know. But we should understand the principle, try to follow as best as possible. Okay, let's move forward. Next 5, whoever, any other devotees. Jaldi.
One should not accept prasad before the deity.
We all know that, but again, in many houses, it may not be practical. Yeah, just do the practical. But if it is possible, we cover the deities. We know that one. Yes, Mataji?
I had a question actually on that, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
In terms of when we accept the Chanamrita in the temple room, but that's in
Yeah,
front.
that's all right. That's all right. Charnamrita is okay. Khana, matlab, you know, actual plate prasad. Again, you're being. Suppose Narendra Modi come to your house. I'm just giving chota example. You know, you'll be like, what can I do? Attentive, this and that. You know, and he's just a small king. The king of the king is there. So we are not being casual. That's the whole idea. One more thing I remember Guru Maharaj said, when we enter into the temple, we should bow down. When we come out, we should bow down. At the door, I'm talking, right? That sort of covers all the Vaishnavas and deities. And he said, what if we are going back in and out, in and out, in and out? How many times we should bow down? And he said, every time. Now again, you may have a back pain, you're carrying a bucket to mop the temple room, but the point is, you are entering into a very special sacred place. That is the principle. Now, how you exhibit it, that may change, but the point is bowing down, bowing down, bowing down. And sometimes I've done it, you know, just touch with my hand because I'm carrying something in my other hand. So that's the whole idea, and then everything else will be so clear if you have that point. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna is personally standing in this room. I have to be very careful, and that includes your home deities as well. As speaking to Bhakti Rasayan Maharaj, and he was saying in the home you cannot bow down all the time, right? But he said you must acknowledge when you enter into the deity room. It can be including your eyes. With your eyes, with your hand, you can do pranam with 2 hands, whatever possible, but must acknowledge entering and leaving. I loved it. I loved it. They're my deities at the home. Huh? The deities are important. They're not temple deities, but my deities are also important, and everyone deities are important. So acknowledge I am in the presence of deity. and then other things will also follow. Priya Mataji, is that okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, you can go to the next one, Mata.
Number 12 is one should never speak a lie before the deity.
So you should never speak a lie, but definitely in front of temple, in front of DT, no. Huh? So DT will be laughing at you. So if you have to, come out of the temple, Prabhuji, maybe we should talk outside, and then you say whatever. The point is no lying in front of DT. Yes.
13, one should not talk very loudly before the deity.
I've seen people on the phone or in general, they have just no respect for others. So at least we as aspiring devotees, we should try not to talk very loudly. Soft talks and very gentle devotional talk should be done. Not like, hey, kahan ja raha hai? Come here. All those things we forget. No, this is Krishna's place. I'm not the in charge here. Krishna is in charge. So soft, gentle, only devotional or seva related discussion should happen very respectfully. If you disagree with something or someone, the best idea is please come out. Come out. Sundar Gopal Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Little practical
Sure.
question here. This applies to obviously your home deities as well. And when your home deities are at a central location in the house, and you've got young children in the house who sometimes may not show the best
Understand your question,
encouraging
Prabhu.
behavior.
Yeah.
So how
You
do we
should
handle that?
you should follow nectar of instruction, nectar of devotion, and tell children now that beta, this is DT, so I'm also not manifesting my best form. You should also not manifest your best form. So they will also start respecting the DTs. So actually, this should be followed at home as well. Huh? If you really have to talk to your children in a little loud voice, better come inside in a nice way, obviously. Yeah, it should be followed. Because what happens, Prabhuji, our consciousness will become like that. This is DT, 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 DT. And this is what we want. Remembrance of Krishna should come out. Not like, okay, it's a home DT. No, no, no. And if some accidents happen, and I'm also guilty of that, of accidents. Yeah, I'm quite aware, but many times accidents have happened. And I felt bad. I went to the DT. I apologized to them. I said, sorry, I spoke loudly. I did not want to, so I apologized to the DT. As soon as you realize, go and apologize because you have done an accident. But it should only be an accident, not a normal, whether it's your kid or something. And the kid will also understand their DTs. So actually, kids will reform faster by applying these rules, in my understanding.
I hope.
Yeah, I hope. Try. DTs are very kind.
Yeah.
Okay, Nam Avtar Prabhuji.
Prabhu, another practical scenario when we do services, especially crowd control and others, when the noise levels are really high, and again, at exception levels, it never happens all the time. You tend to shout and coordinate. It's a means of
That's for a seva, Prabhuji.
communication.
Yeah, because your consciousness is not to sort of like shout at the person. You're trying to control the situation so that another 300 Vaishnavas can do the nice darshan. If I'm raising my voice, so you as a security, as authority, have to raise your voice. If that's the only way out, you can say Hare Krishna, Prabhu, please. You're not listening. Prabhu, Hare Krishna, you have to behave. You know what I'm saying. You've done it many years. So, yeah, do your best, Prabhu. But that's why your seva is to control the crowd for everyone to have nice experience of Gopinath darshan. So you're not personally being, offended by someone, and you're putting the point here is, you're not putting your krodha. That's your seva. So for seva, you have to sometimes stand up and be a little firm. But internally, you can be very respectful.
Yeah.
I can give you some practical tips later offline. I've gone through sort of many situations like that. But I straight away apologized as well. I did my seva, and after that seva, I went to the person, apologized, because I was in that seva that time. I also have shouted. But that was not the best expression, to be honest. But the thing, you have to be firm because there are 600 Vaishnavas waiting in the line. I can't be unequal to the people. So I want to be respectful, but if some people touching the prasadam, before it starts, I have to be firm that time. I can't be, and I have done. But then it was seva. Try your best.
Yes.
Okay, next to Priya Mataji, if you want to read um, 14.
14. One should not talk with others before the deity.
Again, here it's limited to, not like casual talk. So, kal kahan gaye the? How's your shopping and how's your doggy and how's this and that? Yeah, only for the seva, soft, gentle talks, and that's fine. Where is the mob? Where is the jhadu? You have to talk about it, huh? Can you get some flowers for Prabhupada? Those sort of things. Okay, 15.
One should not cry or howl before.
So you understand the point, not loud crying. Now, some people you will see, and I have seen, the tears just come automatically. Huh? You may have also experienced elevated Vaishnavas. That's okay. But we are not tearing to show others, to grab others' attention. That's the point. We should never do that. And if that happens, just go out and, do your crying and come back. Hide your face, something. Others should never know your tears. It's strictly prohibited. Bhakti Charu Maharaj, he was very particular about it, very, very particular about it. So tears are only for Krishna, and that's perfectly fine not to show to others. So even if it's coming, get out of the room, do your job, and come back. Okay, 16 onwards, some other Vaishnava or Vaishnavi can read.
So they could just be tears of pure distress and not any elevated.
Absolutely, and that's what the point is. You're not showing your bodily attachments there. That's not the best place. Huh? If you're
But isn't Krishna, aren't we supposed to
but you're distracting
reveal?
others.
Yeah.
That's the point.
Oh,
You're
okay.
distracting others. That place is meant for everyone's prayers to uplift their transcendental energies, not drag them down to the bodily consciousness again and again. And if I am being that point of distraction, I should remove myself. I should facilitate others. Again, as I said, if you're unaware of it, which happens, that's fine. You're unaware of your tears because you're so much absorbed. But you're crowding and howling, trying loud. I've seen one Vaishnavi crying in the temple room, our temple room, really loudly. There may be distressful situation. I'm not saying anything, right? People have so many things, but that wasn't the right place. When I entered the temple, I was hearing like crying. That was too much, actually. I had to come out. I could not stand there hearing her, pity noises. That's not the best place for that. It's not her fault, I'm saying, but she must have gone through something. That's not the place. I had to remove myself. I couldn't say anything to her. One old mother was crying a lot in front of deities in loud voice. Okay, Parasanatma Prabhu.
Sorry, Prabhu, just I felt like it's contradicting what Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, no, Prabhu, then. So
What?
like he says like, four kinds of devotees come to me.
Yeah.
Someone who's distressed, he's coming there to relieve his distress and get peace of mind.
Yeah, but
So
how you express your distress to Krishna? Are you trying to become center of attraction that I am distressed, which people do? They have this victim mentality. They will tell everyone, Prabhu, I had a fever, I had a fever, I had a fever. Oh, really, Prabhuji? You're so sick. You're going through so much in your life, and you feel very hard. No.
no, Prabhu, I've seen like some new devotees, they have come. They may not be even following anything. They just come first time to the temple. They had something happened in their life, and they are crying, sitting and crying. I've seen those kind of devotees. I feel good. They're at least coming and crying and getting relieved. So it's like conflicting. I found it very difficult to understand this.
Again, if someone doesn't know the rules, we're not saying them, we're not telling them the rules. These rules, as I said, is for us to follow. It's not for others. As I heard the crying of that old mother, I did not say anything. I came out. So if someone is crying, I'm not in authority to say anything to that person. So it's not a contradiction, Prabhu.
But I felt, the outcome completely opposite. I felt let her cry, I felt you felt like, it's like not good, but I felt it's good for her.
Yeah, so I'm not saying it was bad. What I'm saying is not a right platform to exhibit your emotions. You cannot cry anywhere and to everyone. So, and if it naturally came out, you're unaware of it, what can you do? So the point is, we should understand and respect the place where we are in. We should have full knowledge about it and how to respect that place. Now, if you have something happening out of your awareness, nothing much we can do about it. As I said, these rules are for us. If we are having a strongly emotional, best is to come out and express your emotion only to Krishna, not to another 100 people. So still you're going to Krishna, expressing yourself, but why do I want attraction of another 100 people? That's the point.
No, it may not be for attraction, bro. Like for example, someone might be having
Possible.
something and they have gone to
Possible. And
gone to Dham, but standing in front of Lord Nrsimhadev, and they may open
so
their heart
that's
in
why
front of the
we are
deity and
not
start crying.
removing anyone from the temple room. That's what I'm saying again and again. These rules are for us to follow. If you're not aware, if someone is not aware, nothing we are doing about it. But these rules are for us to follow as much as we can. Huh? So if
Okay.
someone is crying, like, what can we do?
Mhm.
But again, it distracts people, Prabhu. It distracts people positively or negatively.
Yeah, I
Okay.
had totally opposite thing actually. So it's a good thing. Because I didn't know this part. Like
Yeah. So
when I
next
saw that
time,
thing, I thought it's good actually. I didn't think it is a negative thing.
yes, yeah.
No, I think it's the same thing
Okay.
like you mentioned. If someone is crying, it shouldn't be a point of attraction, because when we come to temple, Krishna is a point of attraction. And same thing when we say, when we wear certain attire, we shouldn't be wear certain things. So we shouldn't be a point of attraction, should be deity. So I think Prasanatma was same thing Prabhu is saying. We shouldn't be, distracting other people. Like other people are coming there, and when someone is crying, people start, think, oh, he must be a pure soul. But we don't know what's the purpose for them to climb. So we are distracting other devotees. So that's what Prabhu is saying. Like if something is coming up without distracting, it can be done. But if we are distracting other people when they're in temple, it should be avoidable, because Krishna should be our point of attraction. If you're coming to see Krishna, not some devotee crying there. In that context, Prabhu is saying, I think. Is that right?
Yeah, and if someone is not aware of his crying or her crying,
Yeah.
nothing we are doing. We're not saying anything to anyone. Yeah.
Because sometimes they say, if you have any problem, we should go to Krishna. Like so many Maharaj in lecture, they say, if you have a problem, just come and cry in front of Krishna instead of crying to 10 different people telling
Yeah.
your story. Oh,
But
I'm this, I'm
privately,
that.
cry in front of Krishna privately,
Privately, yeah,
not
not in this.
publicly. That's what the point is. Huh? Okay, I think it's 9:05. I'm sorry I didn't look at the watch. Let's stop here. Sundar Gopal Prabhu has something to say. Let's listen to him very
Hare
quickly.
Krishna.
Maybe we can stop the recording first, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. And we'll